that really influence, and we haven't touched upon this, which is more like the long term. How do you keep people maintain long term? And it comes from a book called Theory of Fun, which is a good question. Everybody will tell you, what's a good game? It's a fun game, right? What is fun? It sounds so subjective, right? So this guy, I can't remember the name of the author of this book, extremely renowned game designer, wrote this book.
Can you repeat the name again of the book?
Theory of Fun.
Okay.
Theory of Fun. And so Theory of Fun, take this. It says, we as humans are, we are basically cabled, hardwired to look for pattern. We're a pattern searching machine. We're looking for the shortest path to something. And once we find that path, we apply this technique, that shortest path. That's what we do. That's what we do as humans. And sometimes even forgetting even to judge that path, trusting that path, even though maybe things have changed. So video game work like this. You go in a video game and we give you a challenge and you look for a pattern to win that game. And you find this pattern, and if you keep applying and applying and applying and applying and applying and you win, then it becomes boring and you give up. If you're looking for a pattern and it's noise and you can't find anything and you can't find a single pattern and you search and you fail and you search and you fail and you search and you fail, you give up because it's too hard, right? So the theory of fun is that you need to be able to find ground where someone has to search for a pattern. He has to have a sense of mastery about searching that. He found that pattern, apply it, and suddenly it doesn't work. The game designer have kind of removed something so that so you have to search for a new pattern, and you search for a pattern, and you find a new pattern, and you apply it. And so a good video game is a video game that constantly renews the challenge, constantly renews elements so that you're not bored. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. It constantly has, and we call it, as a game designer, it's a failing job for the game designer because you will always fail at some point. They will always find a pattern, right? Now apply this to everyday life. Theory of fun. Is your job fun? What makes your job fun? And it's very much the same thing. The idea is that if you come to your job and it's hard at the beginning, but you find a pattern to do what you do every day, and then you apply that pattern, then it becomes boring. And then coming to work, it feels very much like going to the factory.
So how do you remove that in your teams? Like you've got a small team, and how do you renew challenges for your team? Because there's so much work.
I'm getting there. It's very simple. We have one-on-ones twice a year, and during those one-on-ones, the idea is to force every single person to grow themselves in an area that is non-related to their daily job, and that works great. Basically, during those one-on-ones, I say, okay, great, thank you, Piotr. Now, what are you going to grow yourself on for the next 6 months? What is the challenge you're going to take for yourself? And feel free to really take on something that's, and it can be anything, right? The idea
do you have an
is
example?
Yeah, for example, for example, our tester, his name, he wanted to learn programming. He was doing, literally, he came in as a very low entry job, which is just literally, hand testing games, and I said, okay, well, my friend, you need to grow yourself. You need to keep growing. That's the key of, beyond just making amazing stuff together. You need to keep growing yourself. What are you gonna? And he put himself on programming, and I said, great. I actually even offered him a 1 week training on C#. A year later, he actually implemented an entire programming automated test of programming, and this guy came in, didn't know how to program, and he was so proud of it. I was so proud of him, and he was so engaged in the company. It was because he found a ground for growth. Yep. It was beyond what he was supposed to do every day.